Okay, we want to divide this by using synthetic division. So there's two different ways to divide a polynomial. The first one was long division, which you may have seen before in previous classes, but we're going to do synthetic division. Synthetic division actually involves working all with numbers, and we don't have any x variables in there at all. So this is how you're going to do it. First, we need to do the setup. So for this one, -2, we're going to take the opposite sign of this one. So you always begin with the opposite sign of that one. So the number that comes afterwards, there's a +2, you're going to put -2 inside the box. Then you're going to put just the coefficients only. Now when you do synthetic division, you have to make sure that this one has descending powers. They're all going down by 1. And also you want to make sure there's not any terms that are skipped. In other words, you don't want to go from square down to 15. If that's the case, then we have to do something to fix that. But this one, it's written properly. We have all descending powers. No terms are missing. That's going to be fine. Also, whenever we do synthetic division, the only time you're ever allowed to do synthetic division is when you have a 1 in front of the x here, and they have x that's raised to the first power. That's the only case that you're ever able to do synthetic division. So you have to be dividing by something linear. There has to be a 1 in front of the x. You couldn't do 3x plus 2, something like that. It has to be a 1. So that's the conditions that you're allowed to do synthetic division. So assuming it's all written properly, then we can do the setup. So again, we took the opposite sign of 2 and made it -2. We're going to put these coefficients in here, 1, -7, -13, and 15. Then you put a line underneath like this. So this is the way to set up your synthetic division. Coefficients are here, opposite sign of this number is inside a box, and we have a line drawn down below. So now we're going to go through and do the synthetic division steps. What you do is you take the first number you're always going to drop it. So we're going to drop it down to here, whatever it is, automatically just drop it down. Next, you're going to multiply the 1 by the number inside the box. So 1 times -2, you get -2. The answer you get there is going to be written underneath the next number. 1 times -2 is -2. We'll put that underneath the next one. When you do synthetic, the operation you're always doing is addition. So we need to add these two numbers together, -7 and -2, you get -9. -9 times -2 is +18. And again, you're going to add these numbers together. So what we did there is I did another multiplication step again. That's the same pattern. -9 times -2, -18, or +18, and I put that underneath the next number. Then you're going to add that together. You get 5. 5 times -2 is -10. And when you add that together, you get 5. So the way this works is that once you go through all this and finish your answer, the very last number here in that column, this is always going to be your remainder. So we have a 5 as our remainder there. Then we need to know how to rewrite what we have left here. So the way that works is we have to put our x's back in. And whenever you do synthetic division, it always reduces this power down by 1. So it was a cube, and so when I write out my coefficients, the 1 here is actually going to go with an x squared. 1 less than the problem how it originally started. And there's really a 1 that comes in front of that, so that's your coefficient for the x squared term. Then every one after it, you're just going to go down by 1 power. So we're going to do every 9x and then plus 5. This part right here, this is called your quotient. So quotient is this one. Again, we don't even need the 1 there. And this is going to be your remainder. So sometimes they may ask for quotient remainder separately, and sometimes they may ask you to write the whole answer out. Now if you write the whole answer out, here's what it looks like. You're going to put x squared plus 9x plus 5, and then you're going to put a plus, and then you're going to take your remainder over what you're dividing by. So plus 5 over x plus 2. So this right here would be your finished result. This would be your quotient part. Your remainder, again, you're always writing over the part that you're dividing. And if you were to go through all this and get common denominators, you would get back to the original one that you started with. But again, all we're doing is we're using synthetic to break it down into this. So this would be your final answer, quotient, and then here's your remainder part.